Everybody, welcome to Trading Caps Exclusive Analysis. In today's video, we're assessing oil, WTI, crude, USO. What the heck is happening with crude oil? Well, one thing's for certain, we're getting cheaper gas prices, and being the fact that I drive a truck, I am welcoming that. Now the question is, now that we're trading at $66 a barrel on crude oil, what is going on? What is the oil market pricing in? Are we pricing in a slowdown, a global recession, or is it simply pricing in a Trump win, a Republican administration win? Could be two scenarios. It could be a recession. It could also be a Trump win. If Trump wins, obviously there's more infrastructure, more investment in drilling, fracking, etc., which brings on more supply, therefore should in theory lower the cost. Now, if it isn't a Trump win and it's a recession, then we got some big problems ahead. But first things first, I just want to bring to your attention that we actually had a death cross on the daily chart. That's when, again, your 50 period moving average in purple intersects with your 200 moving average in blue here in a downtrend. You got that crossover a couple days ago. Now, for the medium term, that likely means oil is going lower, but in the short term, it actually provides a potential opportunity. Often when you get that death cross, it's actually a near-term buy signal just for a bit of a dead cat bounce. A couple things we have to be careful of. Obviously, a lot of people have probably identified this. You have a head and shoulders on the oil market that is actually triggered. You look at this head and shoulders, and it's pretty clear. You know, you really don't get a clear left shoulder, right head, and then a right shoulder like that. If you were to distinguish and define this potential move down, look at the move down that we potentially have. It's replicating about a 15-point drop in oil from the neckline, which takes us to about $56, $55 a barrel on WTI crude. Now, again, I don't think it's going to be a straight shot down there, but if we got down there, I would likely be a buyer. And if we get there, it does likely mean we're probably heading into some sort of a near-term recession. Now, a couple things that I'm looking at. As we approach the oil market here, you just have to understand oil's gone negative, so there's a lot of traders that are obviously fearing that potentially happening again. But we still got to trust the technical support levels. I mean, look at this trend line that we're banging on in oil. Pivot low, pivot low, pivot low, pivot low. From my standpoint, I think that this is a solid support level. I think that it actually gives us a potential bounce all the way back up to at least $72, maybe $70 just to be conservative. I'm personally not long oil at the underlying commodity, but I do have some holdings in the energy sector, and I am looking to potentially take a few more positions in the event that oil does pierce this area. I'm looking to actually buy it off of one more little dip, but it is getting into some pretty strong support zones, and I do think that there's an opportunity in crude oil to actually go along. Another key area that I'm looking at is this key parallel channel. Take a look at this. This is where I think crude oil is actually probably going to go down to. So considering now crude oil is definitely in a downtrend, you can clearly identify that. How? Well, here's your high pivot, here's your lower high, here's your lower high, here's your next lower high, and now another lower high, and we're actually taking out some key lows here, so we're potentially making lower lows. But now that crude oil is in a significant downtrend, this is a channel that I'm watching. Pivot high, kind of kiss this zone, another pivot high, pivot low. That kind of correlates exactly with that $56, $57 head and shoulders target. So I do think that there's a strong chance we're probably going to hit the lower boundary range of this channel at some point. Not yet, but maybe over the course of a couple months we'll start to flush in there. So crude oil is certainly going to present some opportunities. I know the XLE energy sector is definitely getting beat up here, but again, from a technical standpoint, it is also getting into some support zones that could potentially be bought on the long side for a nice little opportunity here. I mean, we get one more little dip in XLE. Take a look at this. You'll be hitting a beautiful parallel channel, retesting a previous little bull flag pattern here, and I do think that the volume trends are certainly supporting potentially a near-term low, but we have a little bit more selling, in my opinion, to get through before XLE is a little bit more of a long. On that note, thank you all for tuning in. Please give this video a like down below, and we'll see you on the charts a little bit later.